good solid fish. Hey friends, I'm going to say something right now that I don't think I've ever said before in my life. Today is July 15th, and I have not been on the water in nearly a month. Friends, one of my favorite ways to scout for, one of my favorite ways in the summertime to scout for fish on Lake St. Clair. Mind you, my two favorite fish to chase in the summertime is smallmouth bass and musky. So one of the ways that I scout for smallmouth bass and musky on St. Clair, I go to a general area that I know typically holds fish. Most of St. Clair is just, honestly, just a big sandbox. Just a big flooded sandbox. So you will go for miles and see relatively nothing on the bottom of your graph. Looks like you're fishing the Dead Sea. And then all of a sudden you'll mark a few scattered patches of grass. But when I see that on my graph, that's when I stop and fish. Because it had been more than a month since I'd been on Lake St. Clair, I was basically starting from scratch. So I decided to start my day in an area along the Canadian shoreline, the South Canadian shore, in the general vicinity of where many of the FLW anglers had fished in the recent FLW tournament. I spent about 2 hours in this location. I spent part of that time fishing for muskie and part of that time fishing for smallmouth. I did catch a couple smallmouth in the morning. However, because of a rookie mistake, I failed to turn on my I failed to power up my main camera first thing in the morning. So I did not capture those first two fish catches on film. However, my best fish of the day came in the afternoon in American water, one of my old standby spots, and I was able to capture that on film. Yes! Well, friends, I ain't catching a ton of them, but I'm catching the right ones. That's another stinking toad right there. That one's 20 and a half inches, 20 and 3/4 inches. That's every bit of a 4.5 to 5 pounder. I'm happy with that. About a half hour later, this happens. I just raised an absolute tanker muskie on the old swimming dog, perch colored swimming dog. I mean, it was a big one, at least 4-footer. Came right up to the boat. I don't think it was quite high enough to get it to capture any footage from the back camera. It might, it'll be close. Followed it right up to the boat. I went into a figure 8. Lost it on the first turn of the figure 8. She just went down below the boat. Make a few more casts, see if I can't strike some more interest in it. On my way back into the ramp, I decided to stop and jig for muskie in a short stretch of the Detroit River that's been productive for me in the past. There we go. Got to be kidding me. While jigging for muskie, I snagged a drum. Maybe you could just tell us, Mr. Houston, how you came to know the Lord.
I was raised in church. I got saved when I was 12 years old in a Baptist church there in Oklahoma. My daddy was a deacon in a Baptist church. I'm a deacon in a Baptist church. My mama was a Sunday school teacher, and I didn't know anything but going to church all my life. So that was a really great benefit to be born into a Christian family. That's a huge advantage for anyone. It certainly was a huge advantage for me. So you know, when I was a kid, you know, they called us drug kids back in those days because your mom and daddy drug you to church every time the church doors open. You know, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, Tuesday night prayer meeting. I don't, you know, I don't have to talk about recovering from alcohol because I don't drink. I don't smoke. Never smoked a cigarette in my life. Don't do any drugs. Had never been in jail yet. and so you know, God saved me from a lot of the bad things that a lot of guys get involved in. I'm actually still married to my first wife.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Mr. Houston,
how
did your faith impact your career in fishing?
Well, it has, without a doubt. You know, it's you know, this game is a difficult game to play, and we've been playing it for a long time, fishing national tournaments for over 50 years. I think 53 years, longer than anybody. And so, you know, you really, to play this game, there's a lot of ups and downs in it, and you definitely got to have you got to have a very strong faith. And one of the great things about bass tournament fishermen on the top level is there's a lot of guys that are really strong Christian individuals.
Yes,
and you don't really see all of the bad things go on in fishing that you see in a lot of other sports. We don't really have guys with drug problems out here, or alcohol problems, or beating their wives or stuff like that. And one of the reasons is, you know, those guys just don't last in this game. If they get involved, they're kind of, you know, pretty much just they run out of the game, you know, pretty quickly. So, you know, having and a lot of the very top fishermen are good Christian men, and that they have an influence on everybody else, no doubt about it.
So I did locate smallies and I did locate muskie. So my mission's a success. Pretty happy with the day. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of Team Jesus Outdoors. Hey, click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Lots more fishing to come this year. God bless, tight lines. See you guys on the